Alright, it is late, and for some reason, Hinterland is dropping all of the news for the entire year in one night. And I've already released a video on the visual enhancements preview trailer that was released, so you can check that out. That's going to be linked at the end screen. But not only was that released, as well as a recap video for the Tales from the Far Territory expansion, just kind of going over everything that they released for that. Apparently Raphael meant today for the Dev Diary release, even though he said this week. It was the day after he said it. I was not ready for this. I'm not getting any sleep tonight. Okay, this is going to be unscripted. I'm just going to read through it, and you're going to hopefully enjoy my reactions. And this first picture that we're seeing here is juicy. Ignore the activate windows in the bottom right. Let's go. April 2025. Dear players, it's been a busy few months since we wrapped up the final part of Tales from the Far Territory in December and shipped the final parts on Switch in March. We've been working on a variety of things in the studio, so I wanted to update you on some of those things and address a few outstanding topics that I know are on your mind. Episode 5. This looks interesting. It's like a diner slash bar, maybe? Maybe both? Something like that. Episode 5. Episode work is ongoing. I know you're all wanting more specific updates, but we're really trying to avoid spoilers, so we won't be sharing much in details about the episode until the first teaser. What the heck is that? Oh. I will say that the episode is the most ambitious we've built so far, and it is quite a few systems and has quite a few systems we haven't used in other episodes. So it's proving to be quite challenging for the team. We also feel the weight of anticipation and need to ensure we ship something of the highest quality. Sorry, it is late at night. We know many of you, like us, have been waiting for years for this story to be completed, and once it's done, we can never go back. So it's really on our minds. This episode can't just be good, it has to be great. And I agree. And I'm glad that they've taken the time with this and they've delayed it as many times as they needed to. We just need communication. That's all we need. This is great. I just wish it wasn't basically shadow dropped. Like Raphael said it would be this week. It was literally the day after that they said they were going to release a Dev Diary. Just some communication ahead of time. Maybe a week before. That's all we need. All right. These screenshots, or I guess these are concept arts maybe, not actual in-game screenshots. That's definitely not what the Long Dark looks like. These look really good. I'm very excited for what's going on here. This looks like it's lit up. It's clean. So maybe this is like a hub area, I guess. Maybe you'll like talk to an NPC here or something like that. Not entirely sure what's going on here. Welcome to Cooper's Blind. I think that's what it says there. Pine Pints. There's no details about this screenshot, so it doesn't... usually there'll be some flavor text underneath. So I'm assuming this is in Perseverance Mills because it's under episode 5. This looks cool. Another lighthouse. It's going to be a coastal region, so yeah, that's going to be a nice view in the distance for sure. To clarify the episode scope for you, episode 5 has between 2 to 3 times as much cinematic and story content as episode 4, which is crazy because that one is one of the longer ones, which is our largest episode to date. Honestly, they should have cut this into 2. They should have just made it episode 5 part 1 and part 2, or 5 and then 6. Whatever. The game world you'll be playing in is about 3 or 4 times as big as episode 4, which includes part of Keeper's Pass North, by the way. So it's more than just Blackrock. So it's 3 to 4 times bigger than that. That is crazy. And it's probably going to be more than one region, I'm just going to guess. There are a lot of story threads that tie up across all of the episodes to wrap up the Wintermute storyline, but also to set the stage for the future of the Long Dark, so we have to take you to several different places and hear from a lot of new people. Because of what the story needs, we're focused on narrative more than we have traditionally, and the mission flow for episode 5 is probably more linear than previous episodes as a result, which is awesome, honestly. I'm really excited for this. Okay. I need this story to be done so that I can sleep. The episode will take you through many new locations. Everything in the episode is new to the game and the world. That is interesting. So these will be places you've never seen before. And this final episode of the story has you playing as both Astrid and Mackenzie and Astrid. They use his last name and her first name. Interesting. You'll also be seeing some of the key characters from previous episodes. So there's a lot. We're also using new motion capture tech for our team to attempt to deliver a even higher bar for story delivery than we have achieved so far. I'm sorry, it's late. These are all things that exist outside the context of survival mode, although some of the work in Tales helped set the foundation for some of the things we're attempting in episode 5. So interesting. My takeaway is maybe the Tales will help a little bit with that. Like, it says specific. Oh, it does say specifically Tales. Oh. Well, all 3 tales were told through narrated notes that you could pick up. So that might tell you something. Or maybe it's something in the code. Maybe it's not specifically that. Who knows? The framework is there by the sounds of it, which is good. That reduces production time, I guess. I can confidently say that episode 5 will be the most ambitious thing we've done on the Long Dark at Hinterland to date. I know that won't mean much to you until you have it in your hands, but hopefully that gives you some sense of ambition behind the episode. I think I understand. Really what this sounds like, it's meant to be 3 episodes long, essentially, by the sounds of it. I don't know why they didn't cut it in half or something, like split it into 2 parts, but hey, I'm just glad that this is happening. That it's real. It's coming out soon. Oh, we just gotta wait a little longer, I assume. The majority of the development team at Hinterland is working on episode 5, with a smaller team working on Blackfrost, so you can be assured that this is our primary focus and will be until we ship it. In order to ensure the team has enough time and focus to finish the episode to our highest standard, we've asked them to work on it through the remainder of the year with a plan to launch towards the end of the year. That hurts. So this was supposed to come out in 2022 at the very end. This is now a 3-year delay. And again, this is upwards of 3 times to 4 times the length and scope of the previous episodes. I think it'll be worth it. If they're satisfied with the launch, I think it'll be worth the wait. We just need to be patient. I'm going to guess it's going to be November, because that'll give them time to bug fix before Christmas. Because there will be bugs, I guarantee you. We're also pushing out other planned survival mode updates, see below, to ensure the team can focus on their efforts on episode 5 at this point. As we know how critical it is that we wrap this up and deliver a strong finale for the story. That's what we're focused on. So if we are heads down and hear less from us than usual, this is partly why. We are just very, very busy. Okay. Again, we need communication. Better communication, and more often. Even if it's just a tweet or a blue sky, whatever you want to call it now. Just a post that says, hey, we're busy. No dev diary anytime soon. Here's a screenshot, enjoy. Or concept art, whatever. Something super simple. Every so often would be nice. Okay. We can probably skip this. Tales from the Far Territory now complete. So this was a recap trailer that they released. It's actually very well done and very cool. So you should definitely check it out on their YouTube channel. It's a recap of the full Tales from the Far Territory expansion. Now that it's fully out for every platform, probably just to market the fact that there's a whole, DLC for the game. It's complete, and maybe more people will buy it. Yeah, I'm gonna skip that. Yeah. I don't think there's anything. It's on sale apparently on Steam and consoles. So if you don't have Tales from the Far Territory, definitely grab it. It is 1000% worth it, even without the discount. It is honestly some of the best content they made for the game, especially the tales, and the regions are incredible. And some of the new mechanics with the unique items are really cool. Visual enhancements, this is the thing that I covered in the previous video. I did a preview, a breakdown on this. This is also worth checking out. Go check out my video, please, of course, but also check out their trailer. This is like 12 minutes long, I think. It is so good. This is such an amazing trailer, or preview, or whatever. And then there's the stuff that's in the visual enhancements, the various different things. I assume this is... Yeah, this is for visual enhancements. So yeah, the visual enhancements will release in May for PC, and then June for consoles, just so everyone is aware. It does take longer for Switch. There are some Switch ones here. There's a few of them. Not a lot, but Switch is getting some. Some of the older consoles are also getting some of these enhancements as well. Oh, this is something I was not expecting to see. I haven't read through this at all. I'm doing a blind read of this. This is something I covered in a news type video like a month ago, I think, about cooking and cooking with ruined ingredients. All right. Cooking with ruined food and trader rebalancing words. We recently made a change to the game that prevents ruined food items from being used as ingredients in cooking. This was an intentional change, as using ruined items went against the philosophy of the system in general. You can't generally use ruined clothing or gear items, so why food? That makes sense. I agree with that. But we recognize that this introduced some issue for people who were locked out of certain recipes, because in long-running survival games, some ingredients might already have been ruined by the time you found them, with really no viable way to replace them. Oh my goodness. This is one of the points that I brought up in my video. They made this change and did not tell anyone. I went through the article for it, the patch notes and all that. Nowhere did it state that this change was in the patch for Broken Silence, or the update. And it was never in any of the hotfix patch notes. So, I hope they learned a lesson here. Do not make major gameplay changes without people knowing, because this change potentially ruins save files for people that have been going for a long time. Yeah, that I'm glad that they're acknowledging that they made this change and put it in a dev diary or an article or whatever. We're releasing a hotfix that addresses part of this issue by rebalancing some of the condition decay rates on specific food items. Please, thank you. Canned goods, specifically, I noticed condensed milk, but that doesn't really matter that too much. But like that goes bad really fast. Granola bars for some reason go by really fast. Maple syrup goes bad really fast. And potatoes, ungodly fast. I know it's a vegetable, it makes sense, but it's cold. It should last quite a bit. At least a little longer than normal. Fresh meat and fish too. Okay. Also buy players more time to process harvest foods from hunting and fishing to ensure it has longevity, but without rewarding hoarding tons of fish or meat that can't realistically process or store. You'll need to plan your hunting and fishing activities accordingly. With things like salt added into the game, you now have the new options for preserving meat and fish long term. Which is a good thing that everyone has access to safe house customization, because then they can make the meat curing box. Everyone can do that, even if you don't have the expansion. We've also added some rare food items required for some of the more complex recipes, canned peaches, as trade items with Sutherland, so they will now be available through the trading system. We've also tuned some of the costs to make them a bit more accessible and worthwhile for you. So even if you end up in a game where most of a certain type of food most of a certain type of ingredient no longer exists in your game, you should be able to trade with Sutherland to get it. I assume that means potatoes and carrots are also included, because that was the biggest concern. I think peaches also definitely needs to be in there if it wasn't, because those are part of recipes. But potatoes and carrots also need to be in that list, the trader list. These fixes will be added to the same update that adds the visual enhancements to your game. So if you're playing on PC, all the platforms, whatever, You should see these changes later in May, and they should come to console in June. Okay. Switch crashes. I thought this was resolved with the Switch update, but I guess not. Some of our Switch players have encountered some game crashes since we released parts 5 and 6 of Tales from the Far Territory back in February. Okay. The dev team was able to isolate the issue of a memory-related crash when playing in docked mode. To fix it, we are introducing some dynamic resolution scaling for certain regions, but only in docked mode. This fix should not impact handheld play, and even for docked, the impact should not be visible. It's a solution we've used for other very large regions in the base survival game, like Pleasant Valley. So if you're using, oh, interesting. So is that for Switch only, or is that something they do for everyone? Never really noticed that. Basically, they would. What are they doing? They're dynamic resolution scaling. Oh, interesting. It's probably only for Switch, if I had to guess. So if you've been playing docked Switch in base game regions so far, and I've been happy with how the game looks and performs, you should be happy after this change. This Switch-specific fix has been approved by Nintendo, and we expect it to launch it on, Monday. Nice. Quality of life update. Thank God. We need an Operation Health for this game for every platform. We had planned to release a quality of life update with new content for the trader and safe house customization. Oh, that's so cool. New safe house stuff. That's awesome. They said they were going to potentially do this in the future. I think it was based on feedback and reactions to the feature, and people, I think, overwhelmingly loved it. Okay. New content for the trader and safe house customization, as well as some gameplay balance tuning, bug fixes, etc. before we shipped episode 5. But the team felt stretched too thin between this work and completing episode 5, so we decided to push this update until after episode 5. Okay. That makes sense. That's fine. Just fix the crashing. I feel bad for all the PlayStation players. They really need a crash fix update at some point. New content for the trader. I hope that means more story. Probably not. Mod support and enhanced custom settings. The team has done some work towards these features, but as with the quality of life update, yeah, they're going to push it until after episode 5. That makes sense. They said that it was going to be part of the 2025-2026 roadmap. So it makes sense that it's going to be well after episode 5, especially since they pushed it to the end of the year. What's after episode 5? That's a great question. Shipping episode 5 will be the big inflection point for the Long Dark. It's been years in the making, and in most ways, the completion of the Wintermute story mode represents the end of the Long Dark. Big sad. That is kind of sad to see and read. I'm writing the end in quotes because we still intend to continue updating the game, but completing story mode has been a point of accountability for Hinterland all these years. With the story mode finished, we're looking forward to having some breathing room to figure out next steps and continue to do our work with the weight of a big promise hanging over us. So they're really just acknowledging that they are finishing Wintermute because they need to finish Wintermute. Otherwise, they can't do Blackfrost. They need to complete the story in order to move on. It's something they have to do. I'm glad that they're acknowledging that. They have to do it. It's a promise. To not only to us, but to themselves. Okay. Ooh, sneak peek down below. So for a little while at least, we're going to think about shipping episode 5 and finishing up Wintermute as the end. What does that mean? I don't like that they capitalize this. I think this is Raphael. He does this. Look, he capitalizes the Long Dark, Blackfrost. Sometimes he capitalizes Wintermute, but I think that's intentional right there. This is capitalized for a reason, and I think I know why. This scares me for some reason. I don't know why. We'll have delivered on our promises, lived up to our obligations, and hopefully you'll be happy with the results and feel they are worth the wait. I hope they will, and I think they will be. For sure. Beyond that, we have to make some choices about what to do with the game, and we'll be interested to hear your thoughts on what you'd like to see. I'll probably share a community survey around this before the end of the year, along the lines of one of the one we did before we committed to building the Tales. This survey will give you a chance to influence the future of the Long Dark. As mentioned, there will definitely be at least one more quality of life update, improved custom settings, mod support, and we've also promised Hunted Part 3. But beyond that, we have many ideas of how we could keep supporting and expanding the Long Dark into the future, but we don't want to do that without consulting with you and figuring out what you'd like to see and how you would like to continue supporting the game. It costs a lot of money to run a studio like Hinterland, and we've invested a lot in the Long Dark and the sequel Blackfrost over the years. So our focus will be on how to continue building games and supporting them for futures to come in a financially sustainable way that is safe and fair for our team. And all this against a backdrop of ongoing industry turmoil that has seen a lot of our friends and fellow independent studios shut down over the last couple of years, not to mention the dark economic clouds on the global horizon. Oh boy. I think Hinterland foreshadowed this. It's called The Collapse. It's coming. It's here. We wouldn't want to move ahead without you being part of this journey, so we want to hear... Jesus Christ, it's late. I'm sorry, I'm gonna flub so much. So we want to hear what you'd like to see more of, whether it's more regions, more mechanics, more story. The survey will include all kinds of questions around this. It's exciting. What's exciting is that there are many paths we can take, including really ambitious stuff and more modest but sustainable stuff. And we really want to find a healthy way to continue supporting the Long Dark and keeping you playing in this world for years to come, along with some of our other work, which brings me to my next topic. So all I will say here is, in the event that Raphael or anyone from Hinterland watches this and watches the whole thing, which I appreciate, thank you, I think mod support should pretty much handle everything. Mod support will do wonders for the Long Dark 1. Even if Hinterland never does more content for the Long Dark 1, they just release mod support and then they fix any issues that it comes with it, like any bugs or whatever. That will keep the game alive, and I think it'll keep the interest in the first game alive. So if they decide to not release anything else for the Long Dark 1 after mod support, that should be fine. Just look at Skyrim, look at Fallout, look at like Stardew Valley and Baldur's Gate. These games are infinitely moddable because they're amazing. They're well loved by their community, whether if it's massive or very niche. And with modding alone, it will keep the game alive for decades, maybe. Who knows? And then we get to Blackfrost. Oh my god. Okay, we're gonna go through this. Let me just scroll through. Something about Tencent. Okay, right, it ends there. Okay, we'll go through this. Blackfrost. I imagine many of you noticed the launch announcement for Blackfrost: The Long Dark 2 at the Game Awards in December. There was a lot of excitement about this from many of you, as well as some understandable questions about how can you announce a sequel before the current game is finished? I thought it might be helpful to talk about why we did this. Listen, everyone. If anyone's listening at this point in the video, every game developer does this. Everyone. It's a necessary practice in order to keep your studio alive. You need to make multiple games and stagger them. Okay? Okay. You can watch the trailer on your own. I mean, this is an older trailer. Okay. I think he might be, yeah, they might just be like reiterating points from the previous dev diary, I think, before they even announced Blackfrost, when they were talking about like potential future games and what the different types of questions that people might ask about, like, why are you making another game when you haven't released another one, or the current one, finished it, whatever. Yeah, about revenue streams, making sure that the studio is essentially funded for the foreseeable future. Because if Hinterland waited until the Long Dark 1 was done to start work on Blackfrost, the studio could potentially shut down because of the lower revenue from a game that is no longer drawing as much interest. The possibilities could lead to a shutdown. You don't want to do that. So the smart way of doing this is by start working on a game ahead of time, which should only be about a year in between the end of The Long Dark and Blackfrost. I'm just gonna skip that first part. Yeah, this is all from that dev diary from was it October or November? Oh, I think it was October, something like that. It was the one before Blackfrost was announced. Just reiterating the same points about like developing games and the cost of the studio and the current economic turmoil, and especially all the stuff going on with the games industry, all the shutdowns. I get the feeling this is just a lot of that. But I've already done a whole breakdown on Blackfrost. I don't think there's anything new here. Another factor is that it's a lot harder to bring an audience to a sequel if you've lost them along the way. Our hope is to continue updating The Long Dark at the same time as we are building Blackfrost. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it's all the same. It's the same from that previous dev diary, except now it's specifically stating Blackfrost. There is a sequel. It was the section when they were talking about making new games, basically. I think I can skip the rest. I don't think they're going to draw more Blackfrost details here. Someday we might even talk about the other non-The Long Dark / Blackfrost projects. So outside of The Long Dark, interesting. They did mention a few years back they were working on multiple games, big and small. So I wonder which one is Blackfrost. I imagine that's one of the big ones. So they might be working on something smaller. We hope we can be open with you and share our excitement about some of these things, knowing that even if you can't feel excited about it with us, that you'll leave some space for other fans to be happy and excited. I'd like to be able to start sharing more info about Blackfrost and future dev diaries. If that's going to be triggering for you while you wait for episode 5, then I suggest you skip dev diaries until episode 5 drops. I imagine there's probably only going to be one more before episode 5 is properly announced and teased and trailered and all that. So maybe like after the visual enhancements come out, like in June or July, potentially. We'll see. GOG and WeGame. If you've been playing The Long Dark on Tencent's WeGame platform, we want to let you know that soon the game will be updated to have parity with the Steam. Oh, I see. Okay, so just parity with the current version of Steam and Epic. So basically the rest of the far territory. I don't know what update they're on. I didn't even know they were on this platform. Didn't even know this platform existed, I'm gonna be honest. If you already own The Long Dark, you will continue to own it, including Wintermute with no necessary purchase. Oh, they're probably doing the split as well. Yes, they're doing the game split for PC. Okay, the game's on Steam sale. There's a Steam sale for the game. The deep 90% cut. What the fuck? Go get the game now. And the expansion. And the soundtrack. Support the company. Come on. Support the company. They've given you 10 years of free content for one purchase. Support the expansion. That's another 2 years of content right there. Technically one, but you know, it came out in 2 years, whatever. Anyways, I think that's about it for this. Yeah, I don't want to draw this out any longer. I've shared my thoughts throughout. This was nice to see. A bit of a surprise because Raphael said it'll be this week and it came out the day after. Fun. And I want to go to sleep soon. Yeah, these screenshots are incredible. Which one's gonna be the thumbnail for this one? I think it's gonna be this one. Or this one. Anyways, let me know what you think in the description below. Or in the description. Let me know what you think in the comments below about this dev diary and these cool screenshots and all the details. Just be patient. Like, they've been working on this for just about 11 years at this point. By the time episode 5 drops, let them cook. They deserve the time to cook, especially considering episode 5 is going to be 4 times bigger than episode 4 or 3. it'll be worth it. Leave a like as well. Go check out the visual enhancements video, the preview breakdown that I did earlier tonight, and then go check out all these trailers that they link in here. I'll link the dev diary in the video for this, and also that's it. Good night. Have a good one.